Yeah, dog. Thomas G here. Welcome to R2R live stream. This is officially interview number one. I actually wanted this to save this interview number one to be with the one and only AJ from EMP Money. He's going to pop the cherry tonight. Very excited about this, where I'll be opening the doors for any project developers, team founders to come on board and do live streams. So we're going to put AJ in the hot seat tonight. Don't forget, this is streaming on X. So if you're on X, you need to pound the like button, retweet it, hop over to YouTube if you're there already. Pound the like button, drop a comment, subscribe, show some love. So welcome, AJ. We were just chatting for a bit. It feels really good to have you on camera, live, talking to you, so we can jump into some of the cool things that you have up and coming right now, man. That's how you
100%,
been.
brother.
How you been, bro? What's going on?
Good, good, Thomas. Yeah, man, really honored to be here, bro, and to have the number one interview spot. For those that don't know, Thomas and I go way back, man. We were in the original Trevon James group together. I mean, we're going on almost 10 years of crypto, Thomas. It's crazy, man. So,
Oh,
yeah, you, Bartertown, all the OGs in the space, and yeah, man, over the last 3 years, we've been building EMP, which is now EMP Fusion, with all new economics. We also merged with Dex Finance, which we'll talk a little bit about, and then we'll also lead into our new game, Honor versus Madness. Again, it's full circle, as you and I both started out with Splinterlands, one of the first successful trading card games on chain, and now we're learning from what they did right and what they did wrong, and we'll go into all that too with HVM. So
yeah, definitely got a long history. A lot of things have changed. A lot more babies, a lot more gray hairs, and
yeah, bro, totally. Both of us, we've been busy having kids. Your beard looks a
yeah.
lot better than mine, though, man. I'm all
Uh,
grayed out. Yeah, so
when mine gets long, it gets the whiskery gray. So I'm starting to get there. I'm starting to get there. Definitely, we've been through a couple cycles now. We're going to enter, what we feel like is on the verge of a bull market. So I told you this earlier. Building a bear, selling a bull, but you've been building as far as developing. Let's jump into the first thing you want to talk about here because EMP has evolved quite a bit. There's a lot of partnerships. There's the Dex Finance you guys have implemented there. Where do you want to start? Because there's so much going on. I think that's changed since I've been up to date.
for sure, brother. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with just EMP.money, the original website. And I'm gonna have you share your screen, and I'm gonna
Okay.
walk you through a lot of this. But yeah, to your point, Thomas. I mean, we started in the last cycle as a tomb fork, and we had a lot of success with that. But as we know, you know, through the OG drip and a lot of the other ROI or highly inflationary mechanisms, we know that those projects can have a lot of success in the short to medium term, but long term, they're really difficult to keep sustainable. And so, over the last, we started EMP almost 3 years ago now. And over the last 2 years, we've really been transitioning away from the inflationary model as a tomb fork. And for those that don't know what a tomb fork is, it's also known as a seniorage protocol, where essentially um, you have a two token system. One is the base token that's usually pegged to another asset. So in the original uh, uh, um, uh, Tomb protocol, it was Phantom. In our protocol, it's actually Ethereum. And there were some others that were blue chips or stables. And then you have another token called the share token. And, the elevator pitch is you hold the share token to mint more of the peg token when the boardroom prints. And so, again, this is really powerful. One of the only mechanisms where everybody involved can win. But it's very medium or short to medium term, and long term, it's you can never outrun that inflation. So we learned a lot along the way, and we implemented a lot of things too, Thomas, to help with the sustainability, and that included detonator, reactor, all of what we call our legacy contracts. And I know that, in full disclosure, there is always some FUD around those because, again, with any ROI contract, there are winners and there are losers, but we never abandoned those. We never flat out, you know, rugged anything. If anything, we've had 100% uptime over those 3 years. We never had an exploit with any of our tokens. And, unfortunately, some of these contracts run their course. But we are looking at ways to actually honor a lot of the value that people may have put in to detonator or nodes or reactor, and actually transition it into EMP fusion. And really,
Oh wow.
fusion is the future. And yeah, I'm sorry, I know I'm going kind of fast, but yeah, did you
No,
have
no,
any questions
you're
so far?
good.
Yeah,
No, you're good. I mean, you're just because people are new to crypto, they're going to see EMP fusion. So just knowing the background story where it came from, because now what you have is a scenario where the protocol still as it exists is looking for EMP to still peg as far as with moving up the price of Ethereum, right? So
for sure.
infusion is going to get that to peg. Is that its ultimate job? Is what you guys are looking to do? Because or does peg even exist or matter at this point?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. So, yeah, I mean, in the ethos of our development and everything that we set out to do, a lot of these Doom forks just said, oh, we lost Peg and now it doesn't matter. Well, it was
Yeah.
always our goal to maintain Peg. And yes, EMP Fusion is literally, and I use this word sparingly, but it is a guaranteed way to recover Peg eventually. So it may not happen tomorrow, it may not happen next month, but based on the economics of EMP fusion, we will
Mhm.
recover PEG over time. And we can go right into that now. I think we gave a good background. So, and as you can see too, before we jump over, we are pegged 4,000 to 1 in ETH. So,
Mhm.
if you actually go back one real quick to the original EMP site, just one thing I
Sure.
wanted to show right there at the top. See where the 0.17999? So we're at
Yeah.
about, yeah, that shows the peg ratio. So obviously you can see we're way below peg right now, although we're up about point 0.1 since Fusion launch, which shows we're already starting the process. But keep that number in mind for when we talk a little bit more later about Fusion. But again, fusion is the future. We are no longer inflationary whatsoever. There's EMP is actually now deflationary, and eShare, which is our share token, is now the utility token of the ecosystem. So, all right, so let's jump into EMP fusion. I'm actually going to walk you through a deposit, Thomas, because a lot of people think EMP fusion is very complicated, but when
Mhm.
we walk through it step by step, it's essentially a giant single-sided staking platform. And the yield or the rewards that you earn are from our entire franchise. So that's where we'll talk a little bit more later about honor versus madness, and literally everything that we built as a dev team, which is about 8 different protocols now. Spark Swap on Pulse, Cedar Swap on Manta. We have bridges, we have perps, we have all these real world product market fit infrastructure that generates yield every day, and that is
Mhm.
what pays the rewards in EMP Fusion. So it's
Okay.
way more sustainable. We're not printing, tokens out of thin air. It's all based on real yield. Now, the downside to that is it isn't, degenerate APR that you might be used to. I mean, we're about 30 to 40% APR, which in terms of traditional finance is still amazing. But we are
Oh,
a
oh
little,
yeah, it
a
is.
little more conservative. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, and again, the whole point is once we recover peg, that we are able to boost the APR, but because of this sustainable model, it takes time to get there. So before we jump in,
Okay.
does that give you a good frame of what fusion is and where the rewards come from?
Yeah, for me, like I learned the most on the field. Like I understand what you're saying, but like when we will do this walkthrough, then it's gonna in sync. And really quick to go to the chat. Thank you, the Mo. Another influence out there with Titan X. I'm sure you've heard or seen him around. He says no longer inflationary is music to my ears. You got to remember he's coming from the Titan X community. So when they say no longer inflationary, they get excited. Which, hey man, if you get people from there to notice you, that's a whole nother community to tap into. So thank you, Mo, for stopping by.
Yeah,
And
Mo.
that's music to my ears as well.
Totally, brother. I picked up some Titanx today, actually. So, you had me bullish with your interview, with Richard B. Man, that was dope. So, yeah, and we'll talk to. I have some alpha maybe in regards to the Titanx ecosystem that we can talk
Ooh,
about as we go. So, I
okay.
save all the good stuff for you, Thomas. So,
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
man. So, all right, then let's just walk right in, bro. So, the number
okay.
one thing that you have to do to get involved in EMP fusion is sacrifice. Now, we use that word on purpose. I know it can be a turnoff, especially to those that are used to the Richard Hart ecosystem, or maybe other sacrifices. But you're not waiting on tokens. You're not delayed. You're not speculating. We just use the word sacrifice because there is no expectation of profit from the work of others, but
Okay.
you are getting credit immediately within Fusion. So what you would do is if you don't have EMP, I know you have some EMP, but if you don't, you would just buy it off of Pancake Swap. That's where the most liquidity is right now, and then you would sacrifice it into Fusion. Now, I highly recommend that you do EMP, even though there are other options to sacrifice. You are
Okay. I say
getting,
e
yeah,
share.
exactly. You share EMP, ETH, LP, and then blue chips. But why you want it's vital that you do EMP first is because
Hmm.
while we are below peg, you are getting value as if we were at peg. So uh, we call it the peg bonus, and this is really imperative to getting us back to peg because while we're under peg, at these levels. Remember, uh, peg is about 5x from where we are right now. So you're getting a 5x multiple on your reward or your ownership of the protocol, and because there's only
Okay.
a max supply of EMP, which we'll look at the on-chain data in a minute here. Um, Over half the supply is almost gone now inside of Fusion. So that's where it's very deflationary. And you're getting that bonus immediately. So, 10,000 EMP is
Okay.
roughly $1,000. So when yep, go ahead and prove and submit, and you'll
Okay.
see,
So I'm
yeah,
proving it
that
right
you're
now. All right.
perfect. So if
Okay.
you were to buy this on the market right now, it's roughly $1,000 for
Hmm.
10,000 EMP. But when you see your microgrid, it's gonna be almost 5x immediately. So this is really bullish.
So now I'm just going to deposit the
Yep,
10,000. It's approved. Going to get 54,243 sack points.
yep. And the
Let
sacrifice
me.
points will be really important when you see the next screen. So once this happens, it'll open up your
Oh,
dashboard.
so you don't see this screen until you participate, right? So,
Exactly.
okay. Do I need to refresh or does it just update on its own?
It should, but you can refresh it to make it faster. Yep, there you
Okay.
go. Perfect. So now you can see, look at your microgrid value right there, Thomas. It says it right in the middle, down a little more and over. Yep, right
Oh, okay.
there.
Oh,
Yep.
so I just it 5.7x on
Yes,
that
bro.
entry. Wow.
5.7x on that. And again, the argument is, well, that's dashboard money, but I will say, I'll show you in a minute why that isn't the case, and that it is actual value when before and when we get to peg. But as of right now, you can see, that $1,000 roughly equivalent get you 0.03% ownership of the entire platform. So
Hmm.
the goal is to get, again, not financial advice, but anytime I'm in the protocol, I usually shoot for at least 1% ownership. And
Yeah.
so what that would mean is you get 1% of all the yield that we generate every day. So again, if we're generating 5 grand in real yield, that means you're getting, $50 a day in rewards. And you can see the estimated daily rewards up in the top right. Right now, $1,000 is only about 35 cents. But again, you're getting almost a 5 or 6x on the microgrid value, and
Mhm.
the APR and rewards will go up as the ecosystem gets healthier. So we're at like the ground floor right now. And then one other
Yeah.
thing while we're on the screen, you will have to purchase batteries, which we're going to next. But if you don't want to add any additional capital and you just want to build your bag completely on autopilot,
Hmm.
up there in that top right is called a buyback and earn. Yep, right there. So every
Okay.
day that will accumulate, and this is essentially the auto compounder. So you're earning rewards, and then you hit the activate button, and it will buy EMP off the market with those rewards and automatically sacrifice it back in to Fusion. So not only are you adding buying pressure on EMP every single day, but you're automatically building your microgrid value and ownership. So again, it sounds complicated, but it really is super simple once you work through it.
It does look simple. Question to you: is there anything on here that shows the users or anything, or do you plan on showing that at any point so that people know? Like, I think it kind of excites people when they see, oh, there's more users, means there's going to be more activity. Do you know how
Yeah,
many
that's a
users you
great
guys have so far?
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. So, yeah, I mean, we are always expanding and
Hmm.
adding features. We are looking to add a leaderboard that shows like the people that own the most, and so we could absolutely add, another part that says daily active users or however many microgrids. I know overall there's about 3,000 EMP holders, and there's only about again, I'd have to look at the updated numbers, but there's only about 1,000 microgrid holders. So the room for growth is still really big. It is still super early. And
Yeah.
one other really cool part before we get into batteries, because we are still pegged to ETH, your
Hmm.
microgrid value will go up as the price of ETH goes up. So not only are you earning, but you're getting full exposure to the price of Ethereum as it pumps. And because we are slowly regaining peg, you know, you'll never be able to buy your microgrid value at these levels, regardless of peg, if because of liquidity bonding, as ETH goes up in price, even if there is no more buying and selling on EMP, that will automatically bring the price of EMP up with it. So, right now we're at 2,500, roughly 2,300 per EMP. If ETH goes to, 5, 6, 7,000, who knows what it can do in the next bull? That's an inherent, 3 to 4x just on the increase of ETH. So that's another really cool thing. And we have over $1 million of liquidity
Oh wow.
with the EMP ETH. So
And my
yeah,
question that I was going to ask here
for sure.
is, when at what point does that, I guess you would call it like a multiplier on the sack, when does that go away? Like when 1,000 got me 5,700 value, when does that go away?
Yep.
As the price goes up closer to peg, then it
Exactly.
just
Yeah,
breaks off?
brother. Yep, exactly, Thomas. So again, man,
Okay.
that's why I love doing interviews with you because you ask all the right questions. So again, that is the peg bonus. And that's another reason why, we're driving um excuse me, we're driving the peg up is because as we get closer to peg, you get less and less of a multiplier. So it's almost like a built-in arbitrage because um, once we do recover peg, again, it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
Every time that we dip down below peg after that, then you are incentivized to buy and sacrifice EMP because you're getting that peg bonus again. So yeah, it's a way for you to essentially get an early adoption amplifier
Hmm.
through the peg bonus. So, I know you're real familiar with Hex and Titan X and all those. So consider, the peg bonus is similar to like, T shares, where the earlier and the heavier you go, the more sack points you get.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense, and it's very simple. It looks just like there's one button here to activate the compound mechanic as far as buyback and earn. So
For
you buy
sure.
back and earn goes into your um, microgrid value. Does it show up as more sack points when you activate that?
It
Or
does, yep, and
okay, okay.
tap points are really important, and that's a great segue into the marketplace. So if you
Hmm.
go to the marketplace at the top, this is how you cash out of the ecosystem. So remember I said eShares are the utility token now. So you will buy eShare off the market and then
Hmm.
convert that into M energy. So I think you have about 25 eShare. If you go ahead and buy the low voltage power pack, or up there on the right. So up this is how you do it directly, and the power packs, which are all those graphics at the top there, they give you a bit of a bonus. So you will definitely want to try to have a minimum. It's a threshold, so as long as you're over the different numbers, you will get a bonus amount, and you can see all that. If you exit out real quick, Thomas, behind what you're clicking on, yeah, right there.
Okay.
So those three across the top, if you do at least 20.42 e-share, you get a 5% bonus. If you do 102 e-share, you get a 10% bonus. And if you do 400 e-share or 408, you get a 15% bonus. So again, it's just a way of getting a little extra. So um, why don't you go ahead and do the low voltage so you get the bonus?
Okay.
And
So it's
then
a
yeah,
5% bonus,
yep,
20.4. Okay.
totally.
So
So
I
it'll
got enough for
automatically
that.
give you 271 M energy. M energy stands for marketplace energy. And again, everything is centered around electricity. So energy is the currency of fusion. So boom, there you go. You got the bonus. And now what you're going to spend this on are batteries. And batteries are the way to cash out of the ecosystem. So, one thing that's really cool about batteries as well is that all the battery fees go right back into the rewards of the ecosystem. So, everything that people spend uh, actually goes as revenue back to the protocol, not to our pockets, as developers. So,
Okay.
and batteries are roughly $15 a piece, or 15 M energy. M energy is pegged to a dollar. And so yeah, with BNB, if you bought that first battery there, you may have to refresh, but then it'll go through.
Well, it says
Um,
I have M
yeah.
energy
Yep.
balance 271, so the only one I could or I can afford
Yeah, you can get all of
uh
them, so they're only 15 bucks. Yeah, you
so I
can,
can
and
afford this one right
yeah.
here?
Well, the pay profit's a little bit different. We can go over that one at the very end, but remember where I said it's not dashboard money? People think, well, yeah, you're getting a bonus, but does it matter? Well, with that peg profit battery, even though it's more expensive, you can actually cash out of your microgrid at peg value by utilizing that battery. So,
So I
that's
need to
a
buy a
yeah.
battery. Do I need to be buying the batteries now or wait to that later down the
Yeah,
road, or
so
does
why
it?
don't let's just go through and show the battery really quick. I'm gonna have you buy two of them. So what are you most bullish on, BNB ETH or USDT? So you pick whatever one you like out of those.
I'd have to go B and B. Will probably do more X's than
Perfect.
E's. That would matter.
Yep,
So
and you can use it for gas. So you're on B&B, it's perfect. So, all right, go ahead and buy that one.
okay, about the B and B one, and
Yep,
this allows me to cash out how much
exactly.
how
So
much does it
this
allow me to cash out in B and B?
Yep, exactly. So go to your dashboard really quick and
Okay.
we'll activate it and it will show you. So there you go. So remember, it's about 36 cents a day. So you will
Hmm.
be able to now utilize that in B&B. So go to your battery, yep, right there, and activate your B&B. Again, you can activate all of them or one at a time. And then now your rewards will pay you out in B&B. So if you activate this,
Do I need
yep.
to this message here just to understand? It says a switched on battery prohibits compounding. So does that mean I won't be able to activate the buyback and earn once
Exactly. Yep, so
okay,
you have to choose whether you want to cash out or compound. That is, you can't do both. So yeah,
okay.
once you activate it,
So I'll
and yep,
activate it just for,
yeah, and you
educational
can
purposes.
exactly, bro, and you can deactivate it anytime.
Hmm.
Anytime you activate or deactivate, it just costs one energy to do it, so $1. And there you
Okay.
go. So now your battery is filling up. So right now, over the next 24 hours, you'll get 36 cents or more diverted into your battery, and then once you go to your battery again, it'll fill up. If you go to the B&B battery, I'll show you, Thomas. There'll be a $15 what we call power cycle. So once you get to $15 in rewards, then you hit that the claim button on the battery, and it will literally put real B&B right into your wallet. So you're not getting a made up token, you're not getting more EMP, you're getting real B&B out of it. So yeah, go back to the battery tab.
Hmm.
There you go, perfect. And you can see it'll say total, and it is a $15 minimum, but you can let it accumulate, for a month and do it all at once. And what happens is under the hood, it takes the e-share, which is the reward, and then converts that to buying B&B off the market. So the batteries are really powerful because, and again, this is the alpha I was gonna drop. We were actively adding new batteries for other assets. So Titan X, even though it's on not on BSC, we could have a synthetic version where you could actually accumulate Titan X actual rewards through the batteries. So it's a great way to onboard other communities
Wow.
into EMP Fusion.
Wait, say that one more time. So
Yeah,
anyone that
bro.
misses it. Okay, one more time about what you just said about with the Titan X and the battery. Go for it.
So
You
we
have to say that
use
again.
yeah, bro. We use the batteries to actually onboard other communities. So
Hmm.
right now, Titan X, even though it's not on BSC, we could have a one for one reserve of Titan X, and we can reward you in Titan X tokens that represent Titan X on Ethereum. And because we'll be building our own DEX eventually as well, we'll be able to run all the pairs through that. And another easier example, would be say Trunk, where we are, obviously Trunk's been really hurting lately, and we won't talk about the politics, but Trunk token, that would be a way to earn more Trunk, and be rewarded in that token through
Hmm.
Fusion. So we can go to many other, protocols, and they will jump at the chance because it's literally a zero sum equation, meaning in no way would there be more selling pressure than buying pressure. Even if everybody sold their rewards through Fusion, it would still add more volume to their token. So, we're ramping all that up with partner tokens. But the whole idea is that you're earning real blue chip assets or meme tokens or whatever we add through EMP fusion as rewards.
Wow. I definitely like that. That's music to my ears to hear the Titan X, possibilities, because that's going to um, bring a lot of new faces, especially people that are not doing finance smart chain and
Totally.
don't know what EMP is. So smart
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Is
And then
this
yeah.
tab here, Peg Exchange? Nothing there
Yeah,
yet,
so the
right?
peg exchange, we'll do two more really quick, and then I want to show you the economics on chain, and then
Okay.
we'll move into Universe Madness. But if you go to the marketplace again,
Okay.
and the peg exchange, now it is the most expensive battery at the bottom, but what is really cool is you can utilize this battery, and we could do a whole AMA on this. So if you want to know more, join our socials, but you can utilize this specific battery to earn Ethereum directly into your wallet that you can then buy more EMP with, and essentially loop your microgrid value. So it is a little more expensive, but you're essentially gaining 10% of your microgrid value every time you activate that battery. So you get ETH from it, assuming there are ETH rewards. Sometimes the demand is so high that
Mhm.
the ETH runs out really quick. But you then use the ETH to then buy more EMP and then sacrifice that EMP and repeat the process. So this is a way again to cash out your sacrifice points at peg value, and then those sacrifice points are burned. So you're not, diluting everybody else by utilizing it. So
That's
that one's
exciting.
yeah,
And going back to the, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah, no, good,
because I know, like, this whole fusion, everything's all about making EMP great again, right? It's been,
totally,
off
bro,
peg for a while. So back to like the legacy contracts, right? When would be like the time frame or deciding factor where you think that you're going to be able to juice over, like from detonator and whatever else, to bring it here
totally,
onto Fusion? Because I think once you do that, then that's going to be like, my dashboard's going to be really big at that point, because I went heavy on it, and I only really compounded. I never really took money from detonator at all. I wanted to compound for a year,
for
and I
sure.
did that, and without extracting like barely anything. So I think that would get people excited. Is there a time frame around that, or is it just on the table? What's
Yeah,
with that
absolutely, bro.
process?
So we're looking at many options now. We're looking at the whole spectrum, anywhere from
Mhm.
sunsetting the detonator and reactor, all the legacy, and giving you
Yeah,
credit in your microgrid value, all the way to the other end of the spectrum where we leave everything as is, and then we hope that there's interest in those again, and the cycle continues because. As you know, Thomas, I mean, ROI contracts, if the pool balance starts going up again, then everybody starts making money again. So it's very cyclical. But to your point, we're really trying to move away from the Ponzonomics and everything that we have seen downfalls in.
yeah,
So the whole point and what we're leaning towards is giving some sort of partial credit based on how much you have compounded, or how much you have utilized, or how much you've been able to withdraw already from those, and then giving that credit in to your microgrid value. Now we just have to be careful with that because we don't want to dilute everybody else that also has positions, and we can only give credit for as much EMP as is in existence. So, and that leads into the on-chain data, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah,
okay,
all of that is part of the plan. And again, I think once we do implement that, we'll be able to move forward, without the negative, memories of those contracts of people that may have lost or may have won
yeah,
utilizing those. So, cool.
okay. Well, no, that
Yeah.
answers my question. Once you guys figure that out, I'm sure you will do something that's bullish for the community. whenever
Totally.
you
And
do anything that isn't, you really just collect the feedback and move with that, which I like. So.
yeah, no doubt. It's a big decision. So we've been spending a lot of time, figuring out what's bullish and what the community really wants, both,
Mhm.
old users and new users. And then, all right, so one more thing, and then we can move on. If you go back down one more time to the split my position battery, that purple one at the bottom, you don't have to
Okay.
buy it, but this is a way to actually sell your microgrid as well. So again, everybody says, well, this is cool, but it's a sunk cost, or, I'm locked into Fusion. Well, that really isn't the case. I mean, again, you can sell your sacrifice points at market value at any time. Obviously there has to be a buyer on the
Mhm.
other end, but you are able to get out. And if you go back up to the microgrid up, it's kind of hard to see that
This
tab
tab.
right there. Yep, perfect. So you can see people have their microgrids listed. So this is the marketplace right here, and sometimes you can get a really good deal where it's actually easier or more valuable to buy the sacrifice points this way than to sacrifice directly with EMP. So it's a bit of
Mhm.
gamification, and those that pay attention and know how to utilize the math. We're working on a UI update that will visually show what is a good deal and what isn't. Some of them are not a good deal at all. So you do have to do a bit of math at the moment, but some of them are very below market value because people just want to sell and move on. So, and
This
one
one
last,
looks like a
yeah,
good deal right here. Am I wrong for this
yeah.
one?
What? Let me see. So that one,
22,000. That's a good deal, right?
yeah.
Because
So a way to check would be, look at what the microgrid points, or I'm sorry, the sacrifice points are, and then the dollar value, and then go back to the homepage and see how much EMP would get for sacrificing directly. So again, it's hard for me to do the math on the fly, but
twenty-two thousand nine
yeah,
hundred ninety-eight. Okay, so
yeah. Then you would type in, say, yeah, and see.
that one was for 31.4.
Yeah, well, and it's a
You
little more
sure?
difficult because you still want to calculate in EMP because you're getting a SAC bonus. So you're better off doing it in the dollar value. So yeah, what did the dollar value say? Um,
Let me go
so
back. So
yeah,
type in eShare.
nope, nope. Hang on, go back to marketplace.
Okay.
All right, let's do it together. It's easier. All right,
Okay.
I have a hard time seeing that small. What's it
So the
say?
31 total price is 31.99 eShare, which is market valued at $376.
Okay, so 376. Keep that number in mind. And how many sacrifice points?
22,998.
All right, so go back home to the home page and go to EMP. And 300 is roughly 3,000 EMP. So 3,000, yeah. So, and what does that get you? Yeah, so that is
16,275.
a good deal. That
Yeah.
microgrid would be a good deal for sure.
Yeah, I
So
thought it
yeah,
was right when I
that
saw it, just based on the dollar amount I spent at the beginning.
yep, to
With
get it.
yeah, so this is marketplace only take
Yeah.
eShare, right?
It
No
does. So
EMP.
that's another utility for eShare. And again, it's also part of the gamification because if eShare pumps and you bought eShare low, then you're actually getting even a better value. Because again, everything is calculated in eShare pricing, which gives more use case and utility to the eShare token as well. So and eShare is also becoming deflationary. So right now, there's only about 50,000 total eShare in existence, and we've already burned about 5% of the supply, and it will continue to go down for sure.
Okay, so now I'm just kind of shopping around, looking at the deals.
Yeah.
This was the one Billy Gunn right here. I
Yeah, no
ordered every
doubt.
number to a
Well,
6.
hopefully, I don't know, somebody might snipe it from us, Thomas. So we'll see what happens. But
All right,
yeah, man, they
that's a good
yeah.
one right there. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, and the cool part too is that you can sell and buy portions of microgrids as well. Everything is broken down into sacrifice points. So if you don't want to sell your whole microgrid, say you have $5,000 microgrid, maybe you only want to sell 1,000 at a time. In
Hmm.
dollar value, you're able to do that with the split my position battery. So yeah. And so that's a high level overview. I did want to show some on chain data, but do you have
Okay.
any more questions before we move away from this? Yeah,
No, I was gonna comment. It's like next time, just so you get the most bang for your buck before
for sure,
you sacrifice, go into the marketplace and see if you get a killer deal like this. Because this right here, this is a really good deal. That's a good bargain. You get about like would have gotten roughly what like 5,000 more tokens if I had, yeah, something like that. I
for
could.
sure.
There's probably more deals here too as well that I'm seeing. Like even this one is no, that's not a good deal. Somebody's selling this one for $2,000. You see how this is overpriced?
Yeah, that one's
180
way
share.
overpriced. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this guy wants to obviously get the position, move on, but his desperation, one man's trash is somebody else's
yeah, bro.
treasure. So
Totally.
that's what you have to look at it like.
Well, and one last comment too on this, which again, we have a very specific plan where
Mhm,
it's in multiple steps. So right now, the number one goal is to get as much EMP inside of Fusion as possible because when you sacrifice your EMP, that removes it from circulation forever. But phase two is us as a treasury, rather than helping get back to peg, we are then able to go and buy microgrids off the marketplace ourselves and we burn that sacrifice points. So it's
mm,
almost like a stock buyback in the real world where we're essentially removing the sacrifice points. And that means that even if we have the same amount of rewards every day, it's over less people. So the less people getting the same amount of rewards, that automatically makes the APR go up. So again, right now the APR might not be that attractive, but we have very specific plans to increase it over time. And again, the risk to reward ratio, this is not a protocol that will disappear tomorrow. We're building for the future, and you can rest assured that what you put in is on the spectrum a lot more safe than a high risk, play. Again, all crypto is risky, so never, get involved with more than you can afford. But
yeah,
that's
I
all
plan
part of
on
it.
compounding. So just for users out there, in order for me to do so,
For sure.
I activated my battery that I bought. So I would need to come to the BNB cash out battery, just select modify and
Yep,
deactivate for $1.
correct. 100%.
Okay. So I'm gonna
Yep.
do that.
And you're right, Thomas. The BBE is the money play right now because of the peg bonus. So when we're below peg and you're doing the buyback and earn, which is essentially compounding, you're getting a
Mhm.
5x multiple at these levels, and that's only going to be less and less as we get closer to peg. So right now is about compounding early.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right. So
All right. So yeah.
I know what I'm doing now.
I love it, man. So, just I want to drive home one more thing. If you actually go to Deck Screener, and pull up EMP, I want to show you the holders because it's really bullish, and it proves my point that over time, we will be getting back to peg. Not if, but when.
Okay. So what was that? What tab you
Yep.
said?
So go to Deck Screener. Just pull up Deck
Okay.
Screener, or Dex Tools, whatever you prefer. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yep.
text screen really
Perfect.
quick.
Yep.
And
And
then
then
what
just
token?
type in EMP.
Okay. Let's see. Make sure I get the right one. EMP
Yep,
money. All right.
perfect. So as you can see, and we have a lot of liquidity still, 1.1 million, plenty of, room for whales to get in and out. But if you scroll down and go to holders, again, you can get to this through BSC, but it's much easier here. Yeah, there you go. Did it
Okay.
pull it up?
So
Yeah.
yeah, I got to switch to the
There
tab
it is.
here.
Perfect, brother. This is what I want to show. So, as you can see, there's roughly 60 million EMP total. And like I said, now we are non-inflationary. So that is a fixed supply. Now go down a little bit and look at the number one contract and tell me what you see.
The number one contract here looks like a smart contract owns 43.33%.
Yes,
Okay.
brother.
What
So
is
that
that?
That
That's
is
fusion.
fusion. Yes,
Oh
man.
wow.
So all the EMP that you sacrifice goes into fusion and stays there forever. So we have already taken almost 50% of the entire supply off the market in a few months. So we are highly, highly deflationary. And as more and more people sacrifice into fusion and get their microgrids, there will be a point in time where there is very little EMP left on the market. And when that happens, that's when we see a supply shock and really, get to peg and then maintain peg.
Perfect. And I was sorry, I had to close the
Yeah,
fridge
no
earlier.
worries.
My son left it open. He came downstairs for some food. I was like, dude, that thing's beeping like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going back to
Well,
deck
yeah,
screener because I want
yeah,
to. I'm just
totally.
looking at like the value. Like if you're interested in like taking the number one spot, the number one holder is wow. So they got a lot of VMP, but
Yeah.
the contract has the 43.3%. I'm
Yeah, and
always
a lot of those top contracts, and we get even we go through it in our Telegram, if
Mhm.
anybody's curious, but literally the top 10 wallets are either smart contracts or team wallets or treasury wallets. So in
Mhm.
reality, I mean, we've talked about this on some of our own AMAs. If you go through and account for all the total supply, it's really a lot more about 80%. That's right, 80% of the entire supply is already accounted for. So really,
Mhm.
there isn't a lot of EMP left.
Yeah, I'm starting to trickle down. Other than the smart contracts, and you said like a team wallet, uh,
Yeah, it
not
drops
very
off.
many. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only like maybe like a less than a handful that have above 1%.
Exactly, bro.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
So
bullish.
it's really bullish. And again, it's about getting your position now because
Mhm.
eventually, once and that's the end goal and the end game is when there is no more EMP to buy, the only way to get into Fusion is buying somebody else's microgrid. So again, you can realize all your dashboard gains of that microgrid value because new users will have to buy microgrids from other users. So again, it's really really powerful for you as the participant, not necessarily the treasury or the devs. So yeah.
Freaking awesome, bro.
Cool.
Love
All
it.
right. Well, that really drove home everything about fusion, and now I wanted to touch on honor versus madness,
Let's go.
because yeah, it really plays into fusion as well and our franchise. So I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we have over 8 different revenue streams, and we're building more and more every day. And why real revenue is so important is because we're able to generate yield and income without having to have new users. And that is again the difference between a lot of other protocols. And so we're always building different projects to funnel at least some revenue back to Fusion, and we call it our mothership, where we're always feeding Fusion and rewards that way. And really, Thomas, I know you've said this before as well, it's about investing in teams, not necessarily projects. And so by getting involved in EMP Fusion, you're essentially investing in the future of us as a team building all of these products, down the road. So we really, we have a lot of experience in the gaming sector. Maybe you can talk a little bit about Splinterlands, right, Thomas? I mean, you were an original player in that as well.
Yeah, man. I mean that was my first interaction with actually what you would call an NFT that
For
then gained
sure.
utility for an in-game player versus player. So I mean the collecting part and the search for legendaries, and then I eventually got like a really big collection. It was fun, and the user experience was like, man, this is addicting. And then it's on blockchain, so it was my first introductory on like a card game like that, and then player versus player. So you've had like Board Ape Yacht Club come out, you've had all these NFTs, and they're just pictures, right? This was
For sure.
actually not that had never been done in between that. What Spinnerlands had done, nothing like no NFT had done that on that level. So now that Honorverse Madness is here, um, it's like my second entry into something like years later. But now you guys are plugging in all the gaps. You know what they did wrong. You know what they did right, like you said earlier,
For
and you
sure.
know what works. And I'm sure your model doesn't fall too far off of what they did that worked. But what are the key differences here? Because from what I understand, there's a lot of advantages, especially for users that invested early on. You guys just had your successful sale that you guys did.
For sure.
Um, Kind of just go into what did you find that you wanted to change about this game? Because
Yeah,
it,
no
it
doubt.
was good. It was awesome. So
Yeah,
how much awesomer is it going to be now?
yeah, totally. So again, I echo everything you said, Thomas. I mean, Splinterlands is the OG, the only trading card game to really, showcase the power of digital ownership and NFTs. They really position themselves as what we know as play to earn, where you actually are able to earn by playing the game. And that is really powerful in terms of adoption and user base. I mean, even in third world countries, people were playing the game as a job because they were earning so much. However, that also runs its course over the long run. And, all the play to earn games that we've seen end up running into major sustainability issues. Axie Infinity is a great example of that as well. And so
Mhm.
we are really flipping the idea where we want to build a fun to play game first, but still give you the benefits of self custody and digital ownership. So we are now saying it's play to own because you're owning your assets and you are able to earn from the game by the secondary market and selling your assets, but you're not able to extract value from the ecosystem over an extended period of time. And if you want to profit, that's great, but then that means that you leave the ecosystem as well because then you have no more assets. So again, that in economics, it's much more superior. In my opinion, but in terms of gameplay, it will be very similar to Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering or Splinterlands, where you are fighting your opponent with a specific number of cards. And we're also adding a fully immersive first person view as well. So, again, while you're playing the card game, you will enter into what's called Madness mode, which, again, from the name, Honor vs. Madness. And then you're able to battle your opponent with spells, and whoever wins the duel gets an advantage in the game for the rest of the game. So again, it's almost a different genre as well, being a first-person shooter style and a card game all in one. So we're doing very innovative things, both from economics and from gameplay. It's a very dark theme as well. warlocks and wizards, and goblins and ghosts. We will be having our TGE in October again to capitalize on the Halloween hype. And to your point, Thomas, we had a really successful private sale. We raised about $700,000 to pay for game development and marketing, and really doing a successful TGE already. And that was without venture capitalists. So we did all that through communities like yours. Shout out to all the influencers and communities that helped us get there. And we just brought on a really talented marketing agency. I'm not really able to say who they represent because we're under non-disclosure, but they are top tier games in Web3 that we are now helping to promote Honorverse Madness as well. And why this all matters for EMP is that 10% of the overall revenue that the game generates will go back to EMP Fusion as rewards. So
Oh
again, you
wow.
get a
Huh.
piece
Okay.
of the action from everything that we build. And Splinterlands is a great example. In the last bull run, they between their marketplace and all their pack sales, they were doing roughly $1 million a day in revenue in the last bull run. So
It was
that could
crazy.
be, yeah, bro, totally. It could be upwards of 100 grand a day going into Fusion with similar success.
I mean, the last time I bought packs, it was like $20,000 in packs or something like that.
For sure,
And
man. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
We went super heavy. So yeah, and yeah, I mean that was my first elusive, 1000x. I turned like $10,000 into, over 1 million. So yeah, Splinterlands was the OG for sure. And again, they've done a lot of things right as well, so we can learn from that. But we're really gonna have a much larger focus on Web 2 as well as Web3, because the whole idea is that we also want people that don't know about crypto to still be able to play and at least use fiat to get a basic card pack, and then we can incentivize them to learn about crypto and buy actual NFTs rather than forcing them to do it. And that is powerful because Splinterlands had a really hard time, and even some of the bigger ones like Gods Unchained, they have a really hard time onboarding people because it's so crypto focused that a traditional gamer isn't going to download another wallet and learn how to move tokens. They just want to play a fun game. And it's bullish for us as a company because that means we can take fiat payments and still have a successful game even in the Web 2 world. And we have a design studio out of Thailand called YGG that's actually building the game. So it's not crypto developers like reverse engineering a game, it's an actual game studio building the game. And they already have a lot of their games on Steam, which is the number one distribution platform for games like this, on the more Web 2 side. So we're going after both audiences, which will really, really help us scale to more users.
and just to emphasize and like just kind of make sure we have the audience that's maybe not thinking about this,
For sure.
or they might not know the revenue, right? Share. Let's say you guys are averaging at the peak. Remember, Splinterlands was doing $1 million a day. Let's say you guys are at $250,000 a day,
For sure.
and that goes into EMP Fusion. So now you're looking at an opportunity here early on before the crowd is actually rushing to get a share percentage. Because if right now I only got 0.03% of the share with the $1,000 investment. So that tells me, you people that want to go in heavier and get, 1 to 5% of that share are going to be sharing potentially a lot of revenue coming in that's going to go into their pockets via Fusion.
Yeah,
So
100%, brother. Well, and
so
the
you got to
other
act
really
now.
yeah, bro, totally. And the other cool part is 90% of that, still remains in Honorverse Madness. And we're
Hmm.
getting ready to release a Medium article with our tokenomics, but
Hmm.
our tokenomics are also revolutionary because typically with games like this, and again, Splinterlands, Gods Unchained, all of them, they have to sell their native token to be able to pay for development. And a lot of crypto projects do that, where they're essentially dumping on our heads to make the game either build the game or maintain the game. And with our economics, we have a much different system where we utilize our knowledge through DeFi to have our treasury yield and actually, be able to pay for advertising and game development without ever touching the principal, which allows us to not dump on people's heads. And that again is so much more sustainable long term. And
Hmm.
then we can do buybacks of Grim Gold. That's the name of the token that we'll be releasing in October. And it allows us to support the token price way easier than many other games.
And you said 90% stays with Honor vs. Madness and 10% goes to Fusion.
Exactly. Yep, that's a
So if you
split.
guys have a $1 million month, which would be, you know, a slow month, right?
Yep,
When things are popping,
for
then
sure.
$100,000 goes into Fusion and
Yep,
split up to the
exactly. And
shareholder,
yep,
well, the sacrifice people.
yep,
But
all the sacrificers, yep. And that's just one revenue stream. Again, we have treasury that yields, we have all the bridge fees from our bridges, dex fees from dexes. We have a lot of revenue streams that feed Fusion. And yeah, to your example in that, that means the 900,000 will be added to the treasury. And
mhm.
if we can average even a 0.5% a day in yield, that is literally, 100K or more a month on just the yield alone, without ever touching the principal that we can use to, again, spend in marketing or game development or buying the token and burning it. I mean, there's a ton of different options in terms of, sustainability.
Somebody said, when are we announcing the marketing team? He
Yeah, I
just
love
went through
it.
that.
So, yeah, we did an announcement yesterday. So, yeah, if
Mhm.
you join our Telegram, again, because of our contract, we're not allowed to say who it is publicly. But I promise you, they have worked with some of the top games. They're veterans in the space. And hopefully, we will be able to publicly announce eventually. But they requested that we didn't. So there's not a conflict of interest because they do represent some of the other top tier games in Web3. So
Perfect. Yeah, I'm liking. I'm loving what I'm hearing here. I think revenue streams, and leaving the field of Ponzonomics with everything over the years that have come out with like Tomb Forks and this
for
and
sure.
that. You guys have something to really feed the beast, which is Fusion, and then you have a really innovative game in the works. Just looking at the graphics that you guys have posted, some of the sneak peeks, looks like you guys got some top tier people working on this. So
Yeah,
really
100%.
cool.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the graphics that you're seeing are still concept art. I mean, over the next month, we'll actually have in-game footage, and again, I can promise you that you will be blown away. Everything in-game is 100% unique. The animators are incredible. It's really a polished game, visually. And it will be a while till we have a playable beta. It's probably going to be about 8 months before the game is actually ready for like a mainstream release. But over that time, and even with our private sale, we gave some what we called early alpha keys where you'll be able to play the game early, and some of those keys may be for sale on our marketplace, which will be launching ahead of the game release as well. So again, keep an eye out for all of that. We have a really really cool roadmap. Even though 8 months sounds like a long time, that is it'll be here before we know it for sure.
What is the time frame? Is it in the roadmap when the public will be able to start buying these packs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have the current plan right now is TGE in October. So we're about a month away from the token going live. The token will actually be on ETH mainnet, and we did that on purpose because that's where all the volume and all the eyeballs are right now, being on ETH. But we may be essentially building the game on a layer two just because of gas fees. But at that point, we would just bridge the token to whatever chain that we settle on. But the actual
Mhm.
first pack sales will hopefully be in quarter one to quarter two of 2025. So about 3 or 4 months after TGE, we'll have the first pack sale. We'll have staking available on day one. We'll have a lot of things that you can do. The marketplace will be ready before the game launches, so you can essentially speculate on the cards and sell them or buy them if you want to play the game. So we have, even though again 8 months is a long time, we have a ton of things every few months that will lead up to it as well.
Okay, so what phase are we in right now in the roadmap? I guess your
Yeah,
phase.
so we're in like phase 1.5, I think. Yeah, private
Yeah.
sale. Yeah, so yeah, right now we're working on the vertical slice. Again, we had 2 months already under our belt with YGG where they did all the concept art, all the, uh, game mechanics, basically building the skeleton of the game and how it will work. And now we're in the process of developing all the assets. So they call that the vertical slice, where again it's essentially a working product that we can expand from.
Got it. So now you just have to, if you went in, now we're waiting for October for the release of the token, and then the token's going to be tradable up and all the way up until the packs, right?
Yeah, hundred
And
percent. So
and
yeah,
is that token going to be used to buy packs, or is it going to be any currency?
I love it, man. Again, Thomas, you ask all the right questions, man. So we're on the same page, brother. So yeah, the you will be getting your tokens. If you participated in the private sale, you will be airdropped the tokens at TGE. If you missed out, you can buy the token on launch. As of right now, there will be a small buy and sell tax. We will be able to remove that tax altogether. But rather than doing vesting, where you don't get your tokens for a while, we decided to do a tax
Mhm.
instead. Um, but eventually it will have no tax. And yes, the Grim Gold token will be a fixed supply token. Again, no inflation, actually deflationary, because part of the taxes will actually burn the token as well. But yeah, then you will use Grim Gold to buy the packs. So again, whether you want to speculate on the price and just buy and hold and play the game that way, so to speak, or if you want to actually play the game and have in-game assets, you use Grim Gold to buy the card packs, which are the NFTs, and then it's typical with any TGC or TCG where you open a pack and you get 3 to 5 cards, and sometimes they're rare, sometimes they're legendary, and you can sell those on the secondary market as well. And last but not least, we will have really unique staking mechanisms as well. So again, if you got in early and want to, wait for the game to launch, you can stake your tokens and actually earn additional NFTs or cards for doing so. So again, you're able to earn, but you're not earning more tokens that could potentially lead to selling pressure. And even if you are getting tokens, those are tokens that we bought as a protocol to then reward to users. So in no scenario is there additional selling pressure from the protocol.
A question I have about when the packs are available, because I know you guys already seen like the simulation and already happened years in advance with Splinterlands, where
For sure.
they have like a certain drop rate, right? For like a legendary, that could be like a 0.03% chance, whatever it may be, to hit a legendary per pack. Are you going to add early on when they launch the potions that were available to have like an increased chance of hitting legendaries to bring in more revenue early on? Or you guys, have you thought about that or anything like that?
Yeah, brother, that's a great suggestion. So, and again, I'll drop some more alpha. And not a lot of people know this unless they're in our immediate community. But one of our advisors, who is essentially an extension of our team, was the lead economics, consultant for Splinterlands. So everything that you saw that worked in Splinterlands, we absolutely will be implementing. And yeah, to your point, there was, for those that don't know, there was basically an upgrade that you could buy that would give you a higher drop rate. And yeah, I mean, that is absolutely something that we're looking into. And then, when people utilize that Grim Gold token to buy the upgrades, then we can just burn those tokens, which makes, again, very, very healthy economics moving forward. And we use Chainlink upkeep to make sure, the drop rates are legitimate. Everything is above board. We use oracles. I mean, again, we've built many, many protocols, and we feel we can easily implement the game as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I was wondering about that because I'm thinking like drop rate percentages are like very slim. So you have to end up buying like hundreds of packs sometimes to get a legendary. And I thought it was cool when they added the potions because then you were seeing like out of 100 cards, however many packs that was, you were seeing like 2 to 3 drop compared to like maybe one out of 100
Totally.
packs. Sometimes you
Yeah.
wouldn't get any. You get a lot of epics, but no legendaries or gold
Yeah.
foils too. Those
Totally,
start.
bro. Yeah, and that I was just you took the words out of my mouth. So one thing we are really prioritizing in Universe Madness is, not only legendary, epic, rare, gold foil, again, all the perks that you would see, but we're also really doing a heavy emphasis on like cosmetics. Again, I think Splinterlands really fell short with that, where we are offering different emotes. So again, I love bringing this comparison up because I've seen some behind the scenes animations already, and it gets me fired up. So Thomas, do you remember in when we were kids, Mortal Kombat, where you had the finisher, where it would say, finish him, and it was a fatality, which was like an animation at the end of the fight, where you rip some dude's head off. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
you do like
Yeah,
an up, down, a few other buttons, and you would
exactly, bro. So
finish
we
them.
we will be implementing basically, different emotes or finishing moves as well that you can buy. So, not everything is NFT. Well, everything will be an NFT that's tradable, but not everything is essentially game specific. It's also, player and experience specific. And why this is important is because, again, we also don't want to be what's called pay to win, which Splinterlands again and many other card games have a problem with. Whoever is the biggest whale has all the best cards. We want to try to limit that as much as possible so that as long as you are a skilled player, you can really climb the ranks of the game. And we'll be having tournaments. We're already talking to Twitch streamers that will do live, coverage of the game. So we have so many really cool things happening.
Nice. I'm looking at the allegiance where you can choose between the two, and I'm
Yeah,
getting the
man, that
world World
the
of
dark
Warcraft
side,
vibes.
yeah, the dark side and the light side. So
The
the
Wizard
Wizarding
Society.
Society, yep, that's the light side, the good guys, so to speak. Those are the wizards and witches. And then you have the dark side or the Shadow Realm, and that's the Pumpkin King right there. He's the ultimate bad guy, and yeah, those are like warlocks and ghosts and werewolves, those sort of characters. So, and you will
Super
be able
cool.
to customize your own character fully as well. It'll be very similar to an MMO where you can actually choose your race and your class and have different appearances for your character.
Super cool. I'm getting like the World of Warcraft, Alliance and Horde,
Totally. Yeah.
that's right there. And then of course always go with the dark side. This guy looks super badass. Really
Yeah,
cool.
no doubt. So, and if you
Yeah,
join our Discord or our Telegram, we post a lot of concept art in there as well. So, there's also more visuals for different classes.
perfect. And this is honorversemadness.com. If anybody's wondering, go in there and read more about the white paper and upcoming events. Because I mean, other than that, we're just in the waiting phase, I guess, right? Just token drop, and
Yeah,
then wait for
totally.
the packs. Yeah, early
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, 2025. I was gonna say 2022,
Yeah, yeah,
2025.
yeah. So yeah, in terms of Omniverse Madness, again, we will have a lot more coming as we gear up for TGE. If you bought already, you're good to go. If you haven't, get ready to buy. Again, we envision a really successful launch. Not financial advice. And then yeah, there will be milestones. Again, staking on day one. Getting ready for the next card pack sale, other, Easter eggs along the way. And yeah, I mean, this is one part of the ecosystem. Eventually, we'll have even more that we can add into it and extend our franchise, throughout everything. I mean, after the game launches, we're building a multi chain DEX using V3 and even V4 now technology for concentrated liquidity providing. That'll be what SparkSwap and Swap end up merging into. So it'll be one giant multi-chain DEX that hopefully will be ready early next year. And so yeah, we're building so much amazing stuff. And that was one, just to wrap it up. We have now officially merged with Dex Finance, which has really expanded our dev team to well over 30 devs now. So we're able to build a lot more stuff in a lot shorter amount of time. And for those that don't know Dex Finance, yeah, man, this is so powerful. So it's basically a mix between Beefy and Balancer. So you're able to have yield farming where you have self custody through the different vaults. Yep, and they support a bunch of different chains, and you're able to earn yield from LP providing in a very automated and hands off way. And we're going under an upgrade right now where again, I don't know if you remember Thomas, but
Mhm.
Forex was building what he called Rome, which was basically a way to manage your LP in a specific range with V3. Well, we have a very comparable product, if not better, that will be ready in a matter of weeks called AILM. So it takes AI technology and automatically adjusts your range to manage liquidity and get you the highest APR, all hands off, with any LPs. So it's really, really powerful.
Yeah, man, you got so much going on, man. You
I
you are
know, bro.
building, building, building. I mean, shoot, I need a crypto job, man. I need to get hired by you.
Yeah,
How many
bro.
positions you got
Let's
for
do it,
us?
Thomas. Come on,
Oh
man.
man,
You can be our yeah, our official YouTube streamer. So yeah, man.
mascot,
Yeah,
be the
yeah.
mascot,
I love it.
YouTube
Yeah,
mascot.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, just you just keep on building. And you guys got things going on and on Pulse Chain. You got Spark Swap over there. You got the
for sure.
Sparkler. A lot of things, which right now we know the state of what Pulse Chain is in right now. So anything on Pulse Chain or Pulse Chain related, it's kind of been down in the dumps. But you know how quick that changes in a bull market. There's going to be a whole lot of action going on over there, which Dex Finance you can use. I saw the pools on Pulse
Yeah,
Chain. So
exactly.
Phantom,
Yep.
I love Optimism. No one talks about Optimism. And ARB all the way to Manta. I've never used the Manta, but I know base is hot. So
Yeah,
definitely
100%. So
check
whatever
these out.
chain you're on, and some of the APRs are really crazy. I mean, again, there's a OVN on base is doing like 0.5% a day in yield. So it's crazy, man. The power, if you don't know how to provide LP and really utilize concentrated liquidity providing, then you're
Mhm.
not into DeFi at all. And this allows the whole process to be super super hands off and really simplified, but you still maintain custody of your own assets. So, and again, we could do a whole AMA on Next Finance. We have an upgrade to the UI
Mhm.
coming out in about a week, and so we'll be doing a whole nother round of AMAs about this specifically, because the AILM is, again, it's a game changer, man. We it automatically detects the volatility of the token and will tighten your range, of your LP when the volatility is low, and then automatically increase the range when the volatility is high, which really reduces your impermanent loss and can
Mhm.
maximize the yield on that volume for sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
AI is gonna that usage of AI in crypto is a game changer. I can't wait for
yeah,
that. We definitely when the time comes, you need to come back on the channel and we'll do like a on camera run through because
would love that.
um you know a lot of the AMAs you'll watch out there, you talk about it and everyone's listening. But I think like what we did today, going on Fusion and showing the on camera education part behind what button does that is important, and then actually putting the balance in there to see it in real time. So we can
For
do that
sure.
setup next time and show it in real time. We'd love to have you back in a few weeks and we can do that, brother.
Amazing, man. Yeah, no doubt. Well, and I love your suggestion about Fusion with the users. Like I said, we're going to implement a leaderboard, and I'm going to go to the devs tomorrow and say, hey, we got to add an overall counter of the users. Because you're right. I mean, that is something that people look for, and we're growing. I mean, even in this uncertain market, before really the major eyeballs come back when we get into a real bull run. I mean, we've been growing every day. We're averaging about 50 to 100,000 EMP being sacrificed every day.
Wow.
So again, the supply shock is going to happen sooner than later, and that's when we really see the flywheel kick in. And those that have been flooding or maybe a little disappointed with the performance of EMP, they will realize that we were just getting started. So
It's a beautiful thing, man. I can't
yeah,
wait to see everything unfold. And
yeah,
what better time than on the verge of a bull market, right? So
for sure, brother.
you guys are going to have your day of glory, and the huge payout is the long term vision. So if anyone got anything out of this today, it's listen, even if you're not going to play honor versus madness and you're just an investor and investing is what you do, well, the EMP fusion, right, getting that percentage of that pool and continuing to compound and build that is where you're going to get future revenue from the success of honor versus madness, which we've seen how much money those bring in, how addicting they are, how fun they are. It's going to be a fun place to be when everyone's, all those green candles are everywhere, and you go, let me spend $10,000 on some packs, because people start spending that way during a bull market. There's a lot
Totally.
of money. It's crazy. So um, it's gonna be fun times again, and I'm glad to have known you long enough to see the ups and downs. And I tell you what, man, no one builds like you do. It doesn't stop. Bull market or bear, you're building, and you're still rocking after all this time, and getting better and better every day. So yeah, is there? I know I've had you almost for an hour and a half. Late for you. You're on the East Coast, bro. So you're
I,
like
I am,
almost
man.
one
Yeah.
o'clock.
This is late night with Thomas G, bro. Yeah, I love it,
Yeah,
man. No, no,
a lot
I
of people
appreciate
watch this
yeah.
tomorrow too, because
Yeah, for
they're
sure,
probably
man.
asleep. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
brother.
no, bro. We think we covered everything. And again, Thomas, I appreciate your support and friendship, bro. We go way back, way, way back. And yeah, man. I mean, again, I'll openly admit that we may not get it right every time, but we have never had an exploit. We have never rugged. We have never given up on everything that we built. We just keep implementing, and obviously some things perform better than others, but as long as we keep building, it will all work out in the end. And we're not going anywhere, bro. We're getting ready for this next cycle. Another few months, and I think we really see things, starting to pop off. And nobody is more happy when we start seeing green candles. So now is the time to pack your bags, man. Again, we say it all the time, but millionaires are made in a bear market, not in a bull. So get ready, get prepared, and yeah, join us. I mean, we do our own AMAs twice a week as well. So if we went over something today and you want more info, please join. Our socials, and we're happy to walk you through everything. We have a full breakdown of that peg profit battery. I know we didn't really get to go over that because it's really complicated in itself. But overall, Fusion is super simple once you really wrap your head around it. So,
Yeah, now I got some skin in the game. I could, do some video content and put it out there. Education on how to do these things is important, and it just makes it easier for a user who just, might be confused to go and see somebody they know, like a follower of mine, you know, do it and pause the video and learn how the process works, and then they could be hands on and figure it out pretty quick from there. So appreciate you hopping on board. I'll let you get back to baby. Sounds like baby's sleeping. If the baby
yeah,
was up
man, I know.
earlier,
I thought
that
we were
did
gonna
not
get
last long.
Yeah, bro. I thought we were gonna get interrupted here, but yeah, I think that the newborn again. I know both of us have been busy making babies, so yeah, I think he's asleep. I'm gonna try to be quiet when I go to bed, so the wife doesn't kill me. But yeah, man, we're making it happen, bro. And again, much love to you, and yeah, appreciate you having me. And we'll do an update in a few weeks. Hopefully by then, again with Dex Finance and getting ready for the TGE, we got to hype that up. I think it's going to be, a major success. Other than layer ones and layer twos, gaming projects typically do the most X's out of anything. So I think we're well prepared for that for sure.
Let's do it, man. Well, everybody out there, have a good night. Thanks again, AJ, for being here to voice out everything and piece it together for us. Don't forget, pound the like button, drop a comment. If you're on X, retweet it, like it there. And yeah, everyone have a good night. And till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
Cheers.